Hey everyone. I'm sorry that I'm talking right now, but I want to make sure if you people in the chat could let me know if you hear me. I would like to make sure. I believe you can hear me. I just want to make sure. I'm just waiting on the chat to let me know if you guys can hear me. Yeah. Yeah, you guys hear me. Okay. So, now that I know you guys can hear me, I'm not going to be looking at the chat. For this. So I just woke up and took a shower after about 3 hours of sleep. Um, I haven't been sleeping well the past couple nights. This weekend I've been up pretty late most nights watching the news. And some things have really, I think, sunk in for me and a lot of people this weekend. And I haven't planned what I'm going to say here really, other than having certain thoughts that have been kind of ringing around in my head that I haven't been able to get out. So this message, whatever I have for you right now, will be incomplete. It will be incorrect. It will be wandering. But I do hope if you're here now that you will stay and listen. I was, this morning care thing for me and for you guys has been a relatively new thing, and it's been something I've been very excited about. And I've been kind of celebrating it with my friends. It's been fun to say, it's very much a win-win-win situation, because I'm really enjoying myself. I've found a thing that helps me in multiple ways. It most importantly, I get to express myself creatively in a way that fulfills me. 3 mornings a week for an hour here on YouTube, and that provides some catharsis for me. It has also provided a very nice uptick in my income, and that's a very big win for me. And yeah, it's and the other thing that's very good about this is it's been very good for you. A lot of you people have told me this has been a great way to start your day, a great way to begin in a calming way. So we're helping each other, Given that part of this for me is expressing myself, I just feel like there's some things I need to attempt to say, or before I can express myself in any other way. I feel like there's some things I need to try to say before I talk with any of my other friends or family. Or when I talk to them, this will be the first thing we have to talk about. But I think if you are having a hard time understanding what's going on in America right now, with the protests and the riots and the general message of Black Lives Matter, I just think something sunk in for me this weekend about the level of this movement, of what's happening, and it's brought me to a point where I cannot continue with any part of my life without addressing it in some way. And a lot of people have been talking about how some of these things have been going on for so long, And one thing I've come to understand is that these people have been politely asking for something for a very long time. And they've really tried very hard. And they've been sending a message over and over and over, the same message to us, to white people, to me. And part of me is even scared to try to elucidate on what that message is, but I'm going to try a little bit. I mean, the message is that Black Lives Matter. The message is that they are being killed, and after the video that came out of George Floyd, a video that I have not seen yet, that I've seen pictures of, and I've learned about what's in it and how long it is. And I don't have to see it. I get to not have to see it if I don't want to, and that's part of this whole problem, I think, is that I don't have to. But I think one of the things that sunk in for me this weekend is that we collectively have had to wait till it was so clear, so embarrassingly clear, and I have to say that I am embarrassed to have been in this world for 33 years, to have even been in certain circles where the ideas of systemic racism and injustice have been discussed and talked about. But I feel after this weekend, I now understand it on a level that I didn't before. And I have heard about and seen pictures from a video of a man who is dead. And I see all the people before that, all the names people have been posting. And I've also seen my friends and family talk about the looting and the protests and that the focus of what they're saying. And I don't know. I want to play music. I want to do something that will take me out of this feeling that is creeping up on me, the feeling of the idea, and I'm just going to say it now, that I feel like what I am understanding is that there is an entire race of people in this country who have been crying out about the injustice towards them. They are being killed by the people who are in charge in this country, it seems. They are being abused. And it seems to me that their abusers are the ones in charge. And that is why they are speaking this way. That is why some property is getting damaged. I hope it's not a tired or cheesy point, or that it's not even overdone yet. But, things can be replaced. Places, businesses, things can be replaced. George Floyd cannot be replaced. And like I said, I wanted to play music for you this morning, but I don't feel like I can do anything else until I do whatever I can in whatever moments I can to say something. And I don't know where to point you necessarily. I don't know what to say other than I think There's a message for us, and it has been sent repeatedly. It's been sent quietly, and now it's being sent loudly, and it seems like the people sending this message are being abused, and their abusers are in charge. Their abusers have weapons. Their abusers are the president of the United States, of this country that they live in. And, a lot of you know I've been dealing with mental health issues. I have had extreme anxiety and depression problems the past 12 months. I've gotten a lot of relief from it recently. And medication has helped me incredibly, but therapy has in a similar way, because therapy is helping me challenge some things inside myself and realize things about myself. And one of the things I've realized is that in order to exist in this world, really, in any meaningful way, as a man, as a husband, as a father to 4 children who are coming up in this world and learning things from it and are being affected by its systems, sorry, I said this was going to be a little maybe tough to follow. I have not been sleeping, and knew this wouldn't, be all professional. But where I'm going maybe with this is I've been thinking about the Martin Luther King, the white moderate quote, and I've been thinking about whether this moment in history warrants a non-school book, public school, hasty run through of who Martin Luther King was and what he said. What he said about the white moderate, and what he said about how disappointed he is in the white moderate, and the things that he asked of the white moderate, and whether those things have been given to the people who asked it, even since Martin Luther King asked it, and whether I am that. And I think I am. I think I am that white moderate, and I think it's insane to say that if I don't talk to you in this manner right now, that he would be disappointed in me. And also because of what I was talking about, my anxiety and my therapy, is I'm learning that what I need to do for myself, and this is for me, this is selfish, is I have to be honest about how I feel. And I kind of all I'm telling you is that I couldn't play for you this morning. And I can't do the Patreon stream after this. I'm sorry about that too. But I like I mentioned at the beginning, there is a message that's been sent repeatedly. The people sending it are being abused. They are dying. And it seems like part of the message they're sending is that the people in charge are the ones doing it. Their abusers are in charge, and I think we have to do something. They've asked us to listen. I've seen a lot of my friends and family, people around me say, I want to listen, I want to do something. I'm also seeing that alongside hundreds of years in this country of oppression of people, and them actually fairly clearly saying what they want, what they need, what we should do. Stop killing them. is a thing they've been asking for, and I've heard a lot of people come up with reasons why that's not a reasonable thing to ask. You get shown numbers for other tragedies, and I guess I'm supposed to come away from that and say, oh, I guess not. I guess we won't do anything. And so the only other thing I have really is they've been telling us what they want for a long time, I think. Black people. They're telling us right now that their lives matter. And if you are listening now and you think that the organization that goes by that name is somehow a terrorist organization, if you think about it in any negative light, really at this point, that is part of the problem. If you're listening to people and institutions and outlets that are telling you something similar, I think you, like what I'm trying to do in a selfish way right now, is you might need to repent in the way that you decide. One of the feelings I had this weekend was, I would stay up late and I would watch all these videos on Twitter, not just videos of the police brutality towards the protesters, but actual live videos from journalists who were literally out in front of the White House just filming. So I got to see not only the viral moments from the weekend, but very small ones from very long streams of very intimate moments of black men and women having a conversation with a line of militarized police and framing it in the way that I've spoken about it previously is that I see someone who's been abused having used all other outlets, having to walk up to their abuser who has weapons that can kill them and have to talk to them calmly and be real careful about what they do so that something worse doesn't happen. I don't know what to do. All I know really is that I can't do anything other than this right now for you, for myself. But I think we have to do something. I think this is a big moment. People. And I think if you don't think about what's happening in America right now, if you don't get on the right side of things right now, of being against police brutality in this country and being able to say that Black Lives Matter, then I think you're going to regret it in your lifetime, in my lifetime. We are going to be able to look back in the same way we can look back on the civil rights movement and say, of course I would be supporting Martin Luther King and those protesting, those oppressed, yeah, I would. I think this is that exact moment. I think we're there, folks. And if for some reason we're not, for some reason I'm crazy and I'm off about that, I think it's still worth it to act as though it is. And if you're not convinced that it is that moment, I think what might be required from you is to act as if it was. I don't know if that's worth it to say, but so So we have to listen, but it seems like they've been talking for a long time, and we haven't been listening. I think we need to listen. If the analogy I'm about to use is that we're listening and we're sitting in our chair, we're listening to these people's story, and we're seeing videos of George Floyd and stuff, is we need to be sitting in our chair, we need to be listening, but we need to be ready to get out. Like, we need to be like, okay, tell me what to do, where to go. Here's some money. We've got cameras. We will look at you. We are listening. I had a weird experience where when I would look at my news app this weekend and I saw a story about anything other than this, I thought, oh, that it was jarring. Like, what? Why is anyone speaking or looking at anything else right now? Because I think, like I've been saying, a message has been sent and it's been escalated, and it has to be received. I think there's a problem with policing in this country, and I'm saying that unequivocally. I think the protesters need to be supported unequivocally. I think what needs to be discussed is the rights of Black Americans in this country to stay alive. Not the looting, not property damage. I think what needs to be discussed right now is how we can learn about systemic racism. My wife has taught me a lot about it, and her brief story is that she's a birth doula. She loves birth, the process of new life coming into this world. And the really long story short of her experience is that as soon as she got into helping other human beings, helping other humans enter this world, she learned incredibly quickly about the ways Black people specifically are being harmed, and for other minorities, Native people included too. But that Black people in this country have a higher infant mortality rate. Black babies die more here than white babies. And I only say that because my wife was not looking to get into social justice. She was getting into babies. And I was not looking to learn a massive lesson from her about this stuff. But that's just what happened. She's taught me about things she's seeing in the birth world, that birth workers are reporting about Black people in this country and how they're being treated differently from the moment they're born right now, still. That's a thing I've learned from my wife. And it informs, I guess, why I'm speaking this way. That I think whatever we do now, this is that moment, I think. This is the white moderate moment. And I want us all to do the right thing, whatever that means. And again, I don't have anything concrete for you above this. I came here for catharsis. You did too. This is catharsis for me, and in that sense, I feel like I'm being selfish. But in another sense, I also feel like this is the least I can do. We had a scheduled time to meet up today, and we were supposed to have an interaction, a musical interaction, and I can't do that. right now. And I feel like maybe all I have left is to say the same thing over and over in different ways. I feel like this is not a drill, is a way to say this. I feel like in this country that this is a textbook moment. This is a historical moment, and I've been learning about myself and how important it is to be true to myself. And if you believe, and if I believe anything about what people like Martin Luther King have said, then I think you need to start acting like this is that moment. So I think that's all I got. I might be able to play music for you again soon. But I think we need to be doing something. I need to be doing something more. I don't know what it is. I looked at the chat for the first time just now, and I was worried about what I would see, because I'm already seeing resistance to the things I'm saying, and I don't know what to say to that right now, other than you gotta think about it. I guess the last thing I want to say, the very, very, very last thing I want to say, truly the last thing, is that if you are wondering what possible reason they could have for doing this type of thing, why would they want to? Why couldn't they send a nicer message? If you're wondering why they have to do what they're doing right now, I think a good answer to that for me is they're doing it because it has caused me to talk to you right now. It has caused a musician who has taken solace in the fact that I don't have to speak for what I do. I get to sit back and create and not inject words into it. And I get to help people that way. But part of the reason people are doing what they're doing is because it forces me to do this right now. So those of you who are still listening to me, you have to confront this. The reason they are doing this is so that I would say this right now. If you're looking for if you need a reason still, to understand why they're doing it, they did it so that I would do this and so that you would hear me say it. Maybe. And again, I haven't slept much. There's probably wrong wording, wrong ideas potentially in these things, but the other part of this again is that these people are saying they can't wait any longer. And so I'm not waiting to do something more professional. I'm not just going to perform and put a Black Lives Matter logo over the stream or something. I can't perform right now. So think about what you're doing, what we're doing. Think about how you want to be viewed looking back on this. Because I think this is a big moment, folks. And I want to do this moment right. I don't want to miss it. I don't want you to either. So, thanks for listening if you did.